I want to ask you also, just going right back to the start now, where everything started for you. Now I know that that kind of Joyce Manor started from I don't know if it was an impromptu trip to Disneyland, but allegedly there was some alcohol involved as well. Like, what's the deal with that? Was it just like just two bros hanging out, and then you thought, let's just? I mean, I've never been to Disneyland. I've never had that experience, but we have similar theme parks here to some degree, and I've never managed to
Sure.
make the trip under any sort of influence. So, how did that all go down?
Well, it's honestly way sketchier and depressing than you could even
Right.
imagine. So,
Yeah.
um, the bass player and I played in a band called the English Work Standard, and there was this kid named Chase, and he's a few years younger. He's like 5 years younger than us. So at that time, I was like 22, and he would have been like 16 or 17 or something like that. So I was 21, 22, and he was 16 or 17. And he was a fan of the English Work Standard, but we had broken up, and his like high school band had opened for us like at our local shows and stuff. And we used to talk on AOL, AIM,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
AOL is the messenger, so he was just like like a little like fan dude, and really nice kid and super funny and cool. And we were chatting on there, and I was just like a broke 20 something year old guy, and we're talking. He's like, hey, my friend gets like free passes to Disneyland. Do you want to go? And I don't any money to do anything. Like I can't even, so I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. I don't really know this guy, but whatever. And so he picks me up in his mom's minivan in Long Beach, and then we drive to Disneyland. And I'm a degenerate 21, 22-year old, and I'm like, hey, let's get some beers before we go in.
Yeah.
And this was kind of, I don't know if you had them in Australia. I think you guys have better sense, but
You about to say
this was
Four
the
Loko?
era.
Are you about to say Four Loko?
Yeah, I am
Oh
about to
my
say Paul like
God.
that.
Oh
So
my,
they had just come out. They were
the
new, and I was like,
original formulation.
yeah, 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 yeah. So they were new, and I was like, these things are really great. And this is a 16-year-old kid I'm with, by the way,
Oh
in
my
his in
God.
his in his parents' minivan with a couple of his friends who are all kids. I'm just like this degenerate adult that's like, I don't know, yeah, sure. I
Take
go
a couple Four Lokos.
buy a bunch of Four Locos for all of us.
Uh,
And so we're just posted up outside Disneyland in his minivan listening to music, and I've got like five or six Four Locos, and we're just pounding these like energy drink malt liquors and smoking. He's rolling joints, like,
uh.
and we're just smoking a bunch of weed and drinking these Four Locos, and then also this is like 11 in the morning, by the way. And
Well,
but we're
perfect.
just we're just we're just I don't really know this kid either, by the way. I don't know this guy. I'm just here for a free trip to Disneyland. I'm like, I have nothing happening in my life. This is fine. So we go in, but we're just hitting it off like great. We're talking music, and we have a ton in common, and we're just partying, during the day or whatever. So, we're cruising around Disneyland, going on rides and just turning up, eating funnel cake, and um yeah, kind of I think by 2 p.m. I was like, we got to start a band. Like I can just see it. Like,
Yeah.
and here we are, almost 20 years later, still bandmates and still kind of doing the same thing, honestly. There's no Four Loko, it became illegal, but
Yeah.
we got like hazy IPAs now, so it's and just drink a Red Bull and it's kind of the same thing. So